Kyros is a real man. At the end of the day, Kyros for the motherfucking win. What he did in this chapter, taking that confetti of fucking blades and just walking like nothing in a rain of confetti blades. Praise him. That's a fucking boss right there. That's a beast. That's a real motherfucking man right there. And I gotta give nothing but praise to Kyros. And this felt like one of, like, I guess last chapter or chapter or two ago when we had the Frankie versus Senor Pink. That was like one of the first times we got a full-on dragged out battle. I mean, at the end of the day, that fight has been going on for ages, but it was just full clean-cut battle. And now this week as well, it seems as though Oda wants to give us more of like, here's a full-on battle. Look at this fight. This fight is epic, and I want you to see it in great detail. So this Kyros versus Diamante, we got the full extent of what was going down. And I honestly gotta say, for the most part, it felt like Kyros was being dominated. I mean, at the end of the day, he was in a bad surrounding. He had everything stacked against him. So it was like, okay, what can really Kyros do? And to be honest with you, I will say the way he finished Diamante kind of felt a little iffy. I'm not going to lie. I felt a little bit like maybe there should have been a little bit more done to it. I do know that Kyros is a beast. We do know that Kyros is strong as fuck. So it wasn't like Kyros was completely outclassed. He was outclassed as far as the environment goes, because I know people are probably going to argue he beat him with one swing or whatever. But at the end of the day, Kyros was never weak to begin with. He just needed to get in a position to cut through Diamante. And that kind of showed that, like, with everything that happened, yeah, he's going to fuck him up if he gets the opportunity. And he had just that at the end of the chapter. And to be honest with you, when it went into the whole backstory yet again, I honestly feel as though that's Oda just trying to push forward. Don't be mad about Rebecca. Rebecca was never supposed to be an awesome fighter or whatever, but it was just kind of like, I never want her to solely her hands. You know, she beat everybody by just knocking them out the ring. She was never supposed to be a fighter to begin with, and I get it, but at the end of the day, it still doesn't take away from the fact that it's kind of like a little bit whiny. Like, take an example, somebody like Vivi from Alabasta. Vivi, remember when Luffy tried to punch her and she beat the shit out of Luffy and shit like that? We need something like that, alright? Like, I love shit like that. Vivi wasn't a beast. Vivi was just Vivi. But she would fucking still put in work. And Rebecca, yet again, just, you know, crying in Robin's arms in this chapter. And I'm far past already complaining about that. It is what it is. We know about Rebecca. But I think this chapter was once again just pushing forward. Yeah, Rebecca was never going to be a fighter to begin with. It was always about her keeping her hands clean till Daddy can come back and solve the problem. And props to Kyros for being, you know, the best father he possibly can considering the circumstances. But yeah. And just a quick mention, Frankie, you definitely deserve that rest, and we know that Frankie passed out, so it could be a little bit of a setup or something. I mean, at the end of the day, let's just say, you know, he's passed out now. Some of the Marines come by that could arrest him and take him away. I would hate for Frankie to be in custody or some shit like that. Just saying. And for the most part, that was the extent of the chapter. Just one fight with Kyros and Diamante. Kyros was, you know, back against the wall. He took a fucking rain shower of blades, but ultimately came on top. It's controversial, the ending, with him killing him, or defeating him, shall I say, in one blow. At the end of the day, Kyros was never shown to be weak. He, you know, defeated 1,000 warriors or whatever, 100 warriors, whatever the hell it was. So, you know, he was a boss to begin with. But the one hit, I wish it would have been a little bit more than that. That's really the only complaint I have, because aside from that, he went through hell to get to that point where he could slice him through. And again, Kyros has been shown he gets you in his reign. I mean, look, he cut Doflamingo's head off, for crying out loud. So it was a setup that Kyros is strong. It's just a matter of his environment, having one leg, Diamante's all his tricks, and Rebecca being there. Yeah, he was, you know, outclassed in that aspect, but strength-wise, no, Kyros had it to begin with. So the controversy surrounding it, I would still say it was good. It wasn't one of those, down and out, but, you know, even though I'm supposed to be way weaker than you and this shouldn't have any effect, my strength, no, Kyros had it to begin with. It was just, he needed to get to that position. So a good chapter for the most part, good fight, honestly. I felt 7 to a 7.5 for this one. It was pretty good for the most part. It was focusing mainly on that fight, and again, I just wish it was a little bit more than one hit. But, I mean, Kyros is a fucking boss, I gotta admit. I'm not gonna lie. I love seeing him, what he did in this chapter, taking all those hits. Rebecca, regardless of what, I guess, just me, I won't be satisfied with the fact that she was supposed to never be a fighter to begin with, because her name was Gladiator Rebecca to begin with, and I wanted to see her do more. Vivi could have done more, and Vivi could have been a little bit more boss. I think she should have as well. But still a good chapter. 7, 7.5 for this one. Let me know what you thought of it, though. How did you feel about the fight? Were you pissed off about that one slash at the end? Or do you understand that basically Kyros had that to begin with? It's just his mobility was, you know, restricted. What do you think about another executive down? Because yet again, that's regardless of what progression, Diamante's down, and it wasn't a typical one-on-one from the Straw Hat, so again, gotta keep throwing that in there. So yeah, overall thoughts of it. That's all I have for this review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, if you can do so as well, that'd be amazing. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.